all coming up in the next few seconds with Ben and Tom Birchall on the pole position here, closest to us. Blackstock and Rosny alongside. Then it's Sam and Adam Christie on row 2 with Tommy Philp and Bryant alongside. And here we go then. We've waited for too long, haven't we, for this? The Molson Group British Sidecar Championship of 2021. We're at Oulton Park in Cheshire. And we are racing, and as you would expect, it's a brilliant start for Ben and Tom Birchall, putting all of that British and World Championship experience to the fore to lead into Old Hall. Everyone nicely, cleanly through so far, and plunging down the hill for the first time this season to Cascades. It's exactly what you would expect of the Birchalls.
Yeah, but they're going to be pushed hard, you know, because if you look at the Christas are there as well, and number 95, Lewis Blackstock, he's going to chase them hard all the way. He's got plenty of World Championship experience. 52, Tommy Philp and Tom Bryant in 3rd place. This is not going to be a walkover for Ben and Tom Birchall.
And this is going to be so interesting moving into race 2 on Sunday as well, with a partial reverse grid of the top 10. But no, it's not going to be a walkover, is it? And I must admit, I was surprised that it was only 0.2 of a second between the Birchalls and Blackstock and Rosny in qualifying, which took place earlier on today to decide the grid for this first of 2 races at Oulton Park this weekend. Through Britons for the first time, you can see some cement dust down where there's been some incidents in the solo categories earlier in the day. But as you so rightly say, Bazza, Blackstock and Rosny really putting some pressure on the Birchalls now.
And Tommy Philp, 52, Tommy Philp and Tom Bryant going well. There's Scott Laurie with Shelley Smith as lady passenger. Through go the Christie boys. Oh, it's wonderful stuff. Goodness me, what a fantastic camera shot that is.
Scott Laurie's made a really good start, hasn't he? As you say, there they come towards us, number 72 there, the outfit, and we're into Druids for the first time. And look how Blackstock, of course, he's just as experienced as the Birchall pairing, piling the pressure on the 2 at the front. Now, we must add that several of the regular front runners we expect this year are not actually in this race. They're over in Hungary this weekend for the World Championship. The good news, of course, is that some of the other runners can take advantage of that situation and grab some good points and podiums here this weekend.
Yeah, and the same will be true all the way through the season. Where crews opt to go and do the World Championship, they're not going to play at home. I know Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosny are committed to the domestic championship, as indeed are Ben and Tom Birchall, as indeed is the crew in 3rd place, Tommy Philp and Tom Bryant. So these guys you see running at the front here, and bear in mind the Birchalls are the existing lap record holders round here, so they've done an absolutely brilliant job in getting it off the line the way they did. We've also got a mix of chassis. We've got, here comes Tommy Philp having a good look. We've got a mix of chassis. We've got 4 Adolf RS Rudy Schmidt chassis.
And Blackstock dropped the sidecar wheel on the grass as they came out of Island Bend and into Shell. There's the 52 of Philp and Bryant, and look what's happening. It's allowing the Birchalls, you can see it for yourself, to eke out a handy advantage. That's got to be a good half second, I'd say, now, as they come out of Britain's, crest the rise of the hill and down to the chicane. It used to be, of course, a flat-out run all the way through the right-hander of Knickerbrook Corner. These days, it's the Hizzy chicane, right, left, right. And incidentally, the long lap penalty lane is on the outside. I think it would be a bit of a job to get a sidecar outfit through there, I have to say, but a few of the solos have been through there already earlier on today.
That's a great shot exiting the chicane. Sam and Adam Christie in the red, white and blue outfit there, the Christie Engineering Services bike behind Scott Laurie, need to get past Scott Laurie. Behind them you've got John Holden and new passenger Jason Pitt, and then you've got Ben Holland with Tom Christie, the 3rd of the Christie brothers. Blackstock and Rosny looking right and left, aren't they? They are pressing.
Yeah, they must have had an absolutely marvellous run through the double right at Druids, because they were dropping back, weren't they, earlier in the lap, but they've got it together in the second half of this lap here at Oulton Park. There are different configurations, of course. You've got the Foster circuit here, the Island circuit with the hairpin. We're going right down to the Shell Oils hairpin on this, the longest possible circuit configuration here, the international layout at Oulton Park in Cheshire. Now this bike here, the Birchalls, Ben and Tom, World Championship experience, of course, as well as here in the British Isles. And I understand from chat down in the paddock, Basil, that there's some pretty trick suspension on that bike this year.
Yeah, well, they're responsible for the development now of LCR, the Lewis Christian chassis. They are effectively the go-to people for LCR racing outfits. So constantly they're developing, trying to improve the brand, improve the breed. So you will get some trick stuff. The Birchalls are secret squirrels, I can tell you. They don't give a lot away.
No, they don't, but you've got to love that secrecy, haven't you? As Simon Gilbert has just pulled into the pit lane here, so I fear that that particular Adolf RS Yamaha, the G-Force Racing bike, is out of this race. That's a shame. We're only on lap 3 of the season. It's quite often though you see some problems creeping in so early on in the championship chase, as we watch John Holden and Jason Pitt now, and they are absolutely right up with them. They've been reading them in for the last few laps, and they are going for a pass.
Well, Ben Holland and Tom Christie have just whipped past them. They're going well too, having changed that engine overnight. So Holland currently sitting in 6th following the Christie's round. This the battle at the front then. Ben and Tom ahead of Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney, now dropping away Tommy Philp and Tom Bryant. Let's not forget, Greg, that Tommy Philp is only in his 2nd full season, having come up from Bemsey as a solo rider.
And still only 25 now, isn't he? So there's a long, potentially, and glorious, meritorious career ahead for Tommy Philp, who is at the moment on target for a podium and 16 very, very worthy championship points. Remember, it's 25 for the victory, 20 for second. Apart from the exception of Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix circuit in mid-October, the final races of the season, 15 and 16, double points on offer again at Brands at the end of the year.
Fastest lap by Lewis Blackstock, 1:44.8. That's just 0.4 of a second outside Ben Birchall's lap record. So that's good stuff. He's on the pace.
Right, so what are they going to be able to do about them? To me, Bazza, just watching over the last few laps, we see the Birchalls, and it's happening again now. They're pulling away in the first part of this lap, but as they get up Clay Hill, round Druids on the run back down to Lodge, that's where Blackstock appears to catch them. That's certainly what's been happening across the race so far. Remember, everybody on the same Avon tyres, so that's not something we need to talk about in terms of differences. They're on exactly the same tyres, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a great thing because it's one less variable, closes up the pack.
Well, particularly when you've got the ambient temperature and the track temperature. Here comes Rob Biggs. Rob Biggs and Jerome Schmitz on the Santander Salt Yamaha going past Ben Holland. They're making their way through the pack now. They're having to play catch-up just a little bit from a fairly mediocre start and a not particularly impressive qualifying in 7th place. But teammates Todd Ellis and Charlie Richardson away in Hungary at the moment, but I hear that Todd Ellis is using Emmanuelle Clement, a young French lady, as a passenger in Hungary, so that's interesting.
So all these people, you know, Kevin Cable's another one, isn't he? The Reeves, Tim Reeves as well, of course, with Kevin Rousseau. We're expecting them all in the championship, in and out of this championship barrier as the season goes on. Absolutely,
so they're not going to be stealing the big points from these regular guys who are going to be fighting for the honours of the British title. It's really, really a fascinating and a mouth-watering prospect.
It does mean then that we should get a pretty decent close championship once again this year. Remember, it was close last year when Steve Kershaw with Ryan Charwood alongside him for the first time on their LCI Yamaha beat Ellis and Richardson, the outgoing champions of 2019, by just 23 points. And remember, that was with double points available at the end of the season. So if it comes down to 23 points last year, imagine what could happen this year.
Right, Birchall's raised the bar. He's gone inside. That's a new lap record, 44.374. So he's gone under his 44.427 time. So that is a very, very good time indeed for Ben and Tom Birchall, who really, at nearly half race distance, have raised the bar just a bit, I think.
Yeah, were they playing with them, do you think? Giving them a false sense of security? They've definitely looked by far the most comfortable all through the practice day we had here on Friday, and then qualifying earlier on. As I say, pole position was taken by only, and I stress only, 0.2 of a second. We were expecting more, but look at that now. It was only 0.9 of a second at the start of this lap. That's significantly more now. Look, you can't even see second position. That was Blackstock in the background, Rosney alongside, just coming into the shot in the background. Well, that is a very, very handy advantage indeed now for Ben and Tom Birchall.
Well, down in 12th and 13th place, we've got two new boys. We've got Simon Robinson and Mick Fairhurst, first time out on a long bike, and Craig Curry and Justin Sharp, first time out on a sidecar per se. So that is amazing stuff.
Craig Curry of Ducati Performance Tri-Options Cup fame, of course, and not only that, because I believe, and I'm sure you're going to confirm this, he's rather handy at karting as well, isn't he?
Yeah, we teamed up and won a karting endurance, Craig Curry and I. He's also Renault Clio champion, so I can't lay any claim to the victory. He set the qualifying time. All I did was keep it together.
And we'll have done many laps here, of course, in that Renault Clio Cup, which races on the British circuits alongside the British Touring Car Championship. More problems. Oh, is that...
Ben Holland.
It is Ben Holland, isn't it? Yeah.
Ben Holland, Tom Christie in the pits, and we saw a very good shot of the young Holden boy, George Holden in 8th place. He and Oscar Lawrence in 8th place, running number 93.
Well, we've seen this crew here losing positions hand over fist, haven't we? So it does now make you wonder whether there was a technical problem there as the Birchells pull away. That is incredible. It was 3.8 seconds, another new lap record, as you can see for yourself, of 43.992 this time. And the lead, having been less than a second at the end of the previous lap, is now up to almost 4 seconds.
Well, they were sandbagging, weren't they?
Like they must have been, mustn't they? We said false sense of security, didn't we? Wow, look at that.
Don't you mess with me. Good kids. I mean, they haven't been on that long bike. In fairness, Greg, we've all been away from it, haven't we? These guys haven't had much testing opportunity.
Well, that is one of the things, I think, isn't it, Barry, in motorsport in general? It's not like football or tennis or golf when you can go out and practice. You know, you can't just take a sidecar outfit or a solo or a car for that matter out onto a circuit. But look at this.
Up the inside then, that goes Tommy Philp. Tommy Philp up to 2nd place past Lewis Blackstock.
Oh, they've got a problem.
Yeah, they have.
Lewis Blackstock with his hand in the air. What a shame. And into the pits at the end of, for them, the 6th lap, running comfortably in 2nd place. That also makes you think that's probably another reason the Birchells managed to pull out a lead so quickly on that previous lap.
I agree, absolutely agree.
Which is good for the championship, I suppose, because we don't want a runaway winner no matter who it is, Barry. But what a shame, what a shame. Fighting for the win, running comfortably in 2nd, and that's a certain at least 20 points down the drain.
We also saw number 18, Phil Bell and Jimmy Connell parked in the pits. They have not even completed a lap, so they didn't get out. So something went wrong, they were stuck in pit lane. Ben and Tom Birchall then, now nearly 9 seconds clear of Tommy Philp and Tom Bryant. But it's just wonderful, given the cold weather we had yesterday, to be here in the sunshine in what I have to say are perfect racing conditions in one of the most picturesque and beautiful tracks we have in the country. We are blessed. What a job.
Yeah, and unlike places like Silverstone or Donington where you just dive off the motorway, you have to make your way around picturesque, beautiful country lanes. We really are nestled in the heart of Cheshire here at Oulton Park. So much history around the venue as well. And look at that, what a lovely shot. And the sun now beginning to get a little bit lower in the sky, because it won't get dark at this time of the year until, what, 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. But look how the shadows are being cast now. This is a replay of the Birchells through the chicane just a moment ago. They're out in the lead by almost 10 seconds now.
Hanging the back out in quite a spectacular way as well. And there's always a risk when you do that you tip it sideways and then it comes back and flicks over. But he's been there. 10 times an Isle of Man TT winner, 3 times an outright world champion, and they've also won a 600cc World Cup.
That's not bad.
That's John Holden, Jason Pitt, number 2, and through they go, and they're the race leaders.
Oh, and again a bit of a move there in the middle of Cascades, but it's just confidence, isn't it? They can do whatever they want with this bike at the moment. Number 16. Hayth entered, LCR, Yamaha. We do have a selection of engines in sidecar racing in general. Suzuki's in this field, Kawasaki's, Yamahas.
Yeah, you know, and with Shelley Smithers passengering the outfit currently in 4th place, Scott Lorry. I'm going to pay credit to what these ladies do. You've got 2 ladies running in the World Championship at the moment. It always astonishes me, Greg, that these slips of girls, and I mean this in the most respectful way, can jump on and do something that grown fit men can't.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it, to see? And we saw Anna Carrasco winning recently in the Supersport 300 World Championship race at Misano in Italy, which runs alongside World Superbikes. And of course, we have had a female passenger world champion on 3 wheels before, Barry, in the World Championship as well.
Indeed, yes, indeed you have.
Out of the chicane and up Clay Hill. This is a superb fight. You can see the gaps at the top of the screen. This is 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And look at that, Laurie and Smithies dropping the sidecar wheel onto the grass coming out of the chicane. They're pushing so hard because they can see there's a podium just a few metres up the road.
About 3 sidecar lengths, actually.
Yes.
Scott Lorry's a hard charger. You know, he's been around this championship and World Championships on and off for many, many seasons. And when I first came into this scene 11 years ago from doing solo work as well, when we first got involved with BSB, as you quite rightly said at the top of the programme, Scott Lorry was very much a prominent force. But now we've got new young blood, and I'm focusing on that young blood. Robinson and Curry in 10th and 11th, so they're earning respectable points. And behind them, Kirby and Kirby, that's Paul and Tom Kirby, no relation. Another short bike exponents running long outfits for the first time, and they are ahead of established runners.
Andy Peach is racing again this year as well. He's in 9th position at the moment, Peach and Edwards. A bit of a mini enthusiast, I believe, Andy Peach, with his classic car, so not completely dissimilar to Barry Nutley himself.
I've got a few funny old bits of machinery which appeal only to me and no one else, but that doesn't matter. I enjoy them.
What was going on there, Barry? I noticed Tom Birchall's left foot was completely off the outfit. I'm guessing that was... Did it just slip off?
Yeah, it's by design. They hang the leg over the back, and the toe just touches the tarmac. Look at this battle now for second place on the podium. Here comes Sam and Adam Christie. Ooh. They're going to do it on the brakes. They're going through. Can they keep it together? It's so tight, but they've held it. Tommy Phil fighting back. What a battle through there.
Fantastic, and Scott Laurie keeping a watching brief. Look, he's right with them now. Shelley Smithies gets down low. Up the hill they go. Under the Pirelli banner at Clay Hill, side by side. This is the sort of action we've been waiting for all across the winter, and it could go either one of three ways, this fight for second, third and fourth.
Fantastic stuff, really is good stuff. I'm impressed with Scott Laurie, I have to say. The number 72 outfit on the back there. These guys, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen out there, the driver is on his knees in the outfit. His legs and feet are horizontal behind him. He has the brake on his left foot, the gears on his right foot, and his toes point down towards the tarmac. And if you can get a glimpse, two little projections underneath the chassis, that is the driver's feet. There you saw that little bump poking down, that's his toe.
Rather them than me. What on earth does that feel like? I mean, I remember you passenger, didn't you, at the Brackley Festival that we did back in Northamptonshire a couple of years ago now, Barry. And even then I thought it would look quite hairy, and that was a relatively low-speed demonstration run. What must this be like?
The G-force is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal.
Oh.
Here comes Sam Christie. Oh, touch. Oh, wow. How good was that? Sam and Adam Christie brought their World Championship experience to Oulton Park.
Oh, this is what's brilliant about sidecar racing. It really is a cross between motorcycle racing and car racing. A bit of contact, rubbings racing, as they say. Now, are they going to pull away? I can't imagine 25-year-old Tommy Phil would have taken kindly to that. You've given me a nudge, expect one back, and we still have another 2 laps of Oulton Park's International Circuit to go with. They cross the line, and look how hard everybody's pushing.
Our race director, Stuart Higgs, will be watching this with eagle eyes, I can tell, just in case something is amiss.
Ooh.
But fantastic. Scott Laurie using all the track and more, exceeding track limits. What do you mean? Look at this.
This is back at the Shell Oil. Boom, straight through, bit of contact, but that's what we love about sidecar racing, and through they go. But it ain't over yet, because we're coming through now then to start the penultimate lap, and look how close Philp is again as they come under the Warwick Bridge down into Lodge. You'd have to be pretty brave to come from that far back, Tommy, and he doesn't. But look, he's trying to take a nice wide sweeping line to get a better exit down Deer Loop, the compression there where you were watching some of the races trackside earlier today. And now the penultimate lap begins, and I've still got a funny feeling, haven't you, about Scott Laurie there in 4th place. I can see him grabbing at least one of these podium slots.
I'm impressed with his powers of endurance. You know, he doesn't race that regularly. I've not seen him race that regularly. There's not been much going on at all, but he looks trim, he looks fit, he looks hungry for action. And Shelley Smith is doing an absolutely fantastic job holding down the 3rd wheel for him. All credit to her.
Yeah, and the speed they carried through Cascades there, they're absolutely desperate. They're so close to a podium. Just under 2 laps to go. There's some back markers coming up further up the road as well. I guess the Birchalls have already started picking through those back markers. They're 11.5 seconds up the road. But which way is this fight going to go for 2nd and 3rd?
Tom is trying to get the power down. You could see it was snaking there. He was trying to drive hard out of the Shell Oils airfield. It's not that easy. Now, is he going to have a lunge as they come down over Hilltop towards Hiz's? That could be an overtaking point. They're the number 17 crew. Those are the new kids on the block, if you like.
Yes, Clark and Enser, they're about to go a lap down, and that could play a major part in this fight, because we're coming through to the last lap. Oh, look, they move out of the way. Good stuff there, good driving, completely out of the way. This, in the meantime, is Ben and Tom Birchall, perfectly calm. Saturday afternoon's ride here in the evening sunshine at Oulton Park, and we're coming through to the final lap. You can't even see the rest of them. 11.5 seconds behind.
Clark and Ensel were upside down in qualifying, so it's a bit scratch. Had a wonderful paint job coming here, but it's not going to be so pretty going into.
We had a few spinners in practice yesterday as well, didn't we, on the exit of this next corner, Old Hall in particular, into the final lap of the first of 16 races then in this year's Molson Group British Sidecar Championship. And your leaders here through the heat haze, down through Dentons and Cascades for the last time in front of the 4,000 strong crowd that's assembled here this afternoon. We're very much expecting more and hoping for more, and in fact one of the outfits right in front of our window, the Kirby pairing where their Adolf RS Yamaha has just pulled into the pit, so another one gone. Very, very high rate of attrition then in this first race of the season.
Early in the season, the outfits aren't tried and tested. They've got to sort out the mechanical gremlins. A lot of them are newly built, so you can see by the body language of the driver, the thing is all over the place. So that's why the Kirby boys, no relation as I say, I'm looking forward to them being regular features. They're just wild cards here. They wouldn't have taken points anyway, but Ben and Tom Birchall on their way. They've eased off. They did a 47 last time.
Oh, that's well off the pace then for their standards. They really have eased off, haven't they, considering the fastest lap of the race is of 43.9 at this point. Now, in that fight for second, the Christies were just under half a second ahead of Tommy Phil. And in fact, Kirby and Kirby have just rejoined the race. They've checked the bike out. They're going back out for one final lap as the leader then comes up Clay Hill on this, the final lap. Now, let's look back. Who has got that second place? Is it the Christie pairing or is it Philp and Bryant? Certainly it was the Christies when they started the lap.
It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing who comes over the brow of the hill in second place, but they are over 10 seconds adrift now of Ben and Tom Birchall, who are on their way around. Do you want to bring them home, Greg?
Here we go then, out of Lodge Corner, Ben and Tom Birchall. It was never really in doubt. Over the line they go. They open up 2021 with 25 points. But now, Barry Nutley, the big question is who will get this second place? Will it be the Christies? Will it be Philp and Bryant?
Christies.
By a big margin. A really strong last lap.
Yeah, Sam and Adam, that was a really good one. Their last lap was a 1:45.62, so they were going quickly all the way to the flag. So great stuff. Greg, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, and you have to say, Laurie and Smithers, Scott Laurie, what a great performance from them as well in fourth position. They were only half a second behind Tommy Philp as they crossed the line on that final lap. What an entertaining start to the season then here. We were very much expecting Ben and Tom Birchall to be on the top step of the podium, but it looked as though the fight was on. They were clearly sandbagging, weren't they, in the early stages? We speculated about it at the time, and we certainly got our answer. Although, having said that, if Blackstock and Rosny hadn't had their problem, I would have been interested to see what would have happened moving into the closing stages. We'll never know now. Pole position, fastest lap, and the race win as well for Ben and Tom Birchall with the Hayth prepared machine. What a performance from the number 16 crew with their LCR Yamaha. 8.5 seconds ahead of the Christies, and they backed off in the closing stages. Although you have to feel for Blackstock and Rosny, who were running in a comfortable second, what would have happened had they not pulled into the pit lane with their problem. Well done to 25-year-old Tommy Philp with Bryant alongside on the podium, and Scott Laurie and Shelley Smithers with the Team SLR bike, fourth place and so close to a rostrum. John Holden and Jason Pitt completing the top five. Remember, it's points all the way down to 15th position.